It's me again, 24, with another God of War video. This is going to be about God of War 2. If you're wondering why I made or why I'm making a video about God of War 2, it's because I completely forgot about God of War 4, which was announced at E3 this year because of just some reason. But I completely forgot about God of War 4 because Mafia 3 came out, or is going to come out October 7th. Final Fantasy 15 was supposed to be released, I think, this month, and Persona 5 was released this month, as well as XCOM. There's been a lot of really good games that have been released in the last couple of months, and that's going to be released next month, and I've kind of just pushed God of War 4 aside, and I decided to talk about the series as a whole. Now, God of War 2 is a fan favorite. It is, to fans, of course, of the series, including myself, one of the best God of War games in the franchise. A lot of people consider it to be the best. Personally, I don't. I understand that argument, but personally, I like God of War 3 a little bit better because that was one of the first that was actually the first console God of War game that I played. Then it was God of War 2 and 1. But I enjoyed all three games. Now, God of War 2 is very interesting because you kind of take on the side of of an avenging angel, so to speak. And you already did that in God of War, the first game, but in this game, it's a lot more paramount because you're going up against the gods. You're going up against literally the creators and maintainers of the planet, right? So how you fight the gods, or how you actually kill the gods, is by getting and using the Blade of Olympus. In fact, this is the reason why you were able to kill the first boss, so to speak, of the game. And the Blade of Olympus requires the power of of a god, so you have to use Ares' power, or the power of the God of War, and you infuse the sword with the power of the God of War. So you become mortal again, and you use the Blade of Olympus to kill this monster that Zeus has inflicted upon one of Kratos' cities that he's trying to conquer. It's kind of a weird way of like Kratos using his godly powers, because he is a god. Like, why doesn't he just kill, the beast? I think it's because the beast actually, or not the beast, the monster actually does take a little bit of Kratos's power, so he's forced to use the Blade of Olympus. But still, it's kind of like, he's Kratos, he can fucking kill it. But he infuses the Blade of Olympus with all of his godly powers. Then he strikes down the monster, and unfortunately, Zeus. It was all part of Zeus's elaborate plan, and Kratos actually thinks that it was Athena that had done this, because Athena was kind of his caretaker. She was his uh, his his Jesus, so to speak. She was always with him. She always supported him. She helped him. She continued to help him through his quest. And he was cursing Athena because it looked like it was Athena's doing, and in fact, it was Zeus's doing. And Zeus comes down from from Mount Olympus, and he explains to Kratos, "You're a butcher. You're not welcome here. You're about to die." Picks up the Blade of Olympus, impales Kratos with the Blade of Olympus. Kratos is again dead, sent to Hell, or Hades, depending on what you want to call it, and is forced again to climb out of Hell, except it's a lot easier, it's a lot quicker, and doesn't need a hole to get out of Hell. Climbs out of Hell, and now he has this gaping scar kind of like on his chest or on his abdomen that is very prominent throughout the rest of the series. Even in God of War 2, it's like a long-lasting injury or reminder that he did die. All right, so he actually has a I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired. he actually has someone who can help him, and that's Athena again. She sends out like a flaming Pegasus to him, and he flies off to the Titans, or to where two of the Titans are actually being held against their will. One of them is, I think, Prometheus. Prometheus was the Titan that brought fire to us, to humans, right? So he is being eaten alive every single day by birds, and he tells Kratos, "You can have my bow if you kill me, if you finally give me peace, because every single time, or every single day, I get eaten by crows, and every single night I heal, and it's been going on for centuries," right? So he's like, so Kratos kills him, takes his bow, boom, he has the bow now, and he's contacted by Gaia. Gaia is literally Mother Earth, and she says, "You know what? Zeus is kind of an asshole now. Zeus imprisoned all of the Titans, even though I held, especially me being Gaia, even after I saved his little lightning bolt ass from his father Kronos, because Kronos ate Hades and Poseidon, but I tricked Kronos into eating a pebble and not Zeus. I trained Zeus to become stronger. He rebelled against Kronos. He defeated Kronos, but in return, because of his fear against the Titans, he imprisoned all of us. So now we need you to help us defeat Zeus." And obviously, Kratos has a common enemy in Zeus because he wants to kill him. So Kratos now is on a mission to go back in time to go and rescue the Titans that were defeated by the gods, which the game doesn't really explain how the Titans got beaten by the gods, but it is Greek mythology that they did get beaten by the gods, even though the gods were weaker than the Titans. I think it's because the gods had the Cyclopses build them great weapons. Like Zeus had the lightning bolt, and Poseidon, he had the trident, and something else. And Hades had like the chains of, or like a Grim Reaper chains or whatever. I don't know. But Zeus now goes on this Kratos goes on this epic quest. Now he flies to the Isle of the Fates, which they control fate and stuff like that, and he needs to go back in time to save the Titans, right? So pretty much the rest of the game is on that island. You spend the entirety of the game trying to make it up to the top of their isle, meeting some pretty iconic Greek heroes. Like you meet Perseus, who got his ass beat. And I think one of the most satisfying things about the series is that you get to kick the crap out of Greek heroes and Greek gods, including Perseus, and you get to beat Perseus up, and you actually encounter the warrior that had defeated Kratos, and Kratos had, he had prayed to Ares that, if you help me beat this guy, I'll be yours to command forever, right? And he was there, his head was still beheaded, and Kratos beat the shit out of him again, except this time he has a hammer. Kratos takes his fucking hammer, beats the shit out of him with it, and it was so rewarding, because that boss in particular was so annoying. The QTE were just terrible. They had terrible responses, I would say, because they had like the control sticks, circular rotations, which they are a little bit hard to read for the PS2 and for that game in particular, but it was great to defeat that guy. But the interesting thing about the Temple of Isles bosses, or not the Temple of Isles bosses, excuse me, the Sisters of Fate bosses, is that you actually go to some of your pivotal moments. More specifically, you go to the moment where you and Ares are fighting, and you actually get to see them in the background fighting, and the Sisters of Fate try and fuck around with that. They try and prevent you, as Kratos, from opening Pandora's box and releasing the power to kill a god, right? And it almost succeeds, except you, as Kratos, stop them, and you kill the Sisters of Fate. You regain the power, or you gain the power to to uh, to travel back in time, and you travel to the point where the first point that you go actually is you travel to the point where Zeus betrays you. You take the blade of Olympus, you duke it out with Zeus, and Athena steps in your way, and pretty much the caretaker for Kratos dies, right? So Zeus calls you a butcher, and he flees to Mount Olympus, and in your mourning, in Kratos' mourning, because he lost a caretaker and a friend, he goes back to the temple, not the temple, the Isle of the Fates, goes back in time, rescues the Titans, and the game ends with Kratos ascending Mount Olympus on his hunt for the gods of Olympus, and that's where the game is ended upon, and that's where God of War 3 picks up. And I will talk about God of War 3 in my next video, and why I loved it more than God of War and God of War 2. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. You have a fantastic day. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you tomorrow.